All right, let's talk about how one of the most common languages on the web completely broke out of its cage and really changed software development forever. For years and years, JavaScript had exactly one job, and it lived in exactly one place, inside your web browser. It was the thing that made websites feel alive. But that was it. It was this incredibly powerful engine that was basically stuck on a single tiny track. The idea that it could ever run somewhere else, well, that seemed kind of crazy.
And then Node.js showed up. It wasn't some brand new language or super complicated framework. Nope, it was something much simpler and honestly much more profound. It was basically a key that unlocked JavaScript from the browser and let it run free on the server, the back end where all the real heavy lifting happens.
Okay, so that sounds cool, but what does it actually mean? What does it look like? Well, you know what? Let's just build a web server right now. You're going to see just how shockingly simple and powerful this whole thing really is. First things first, you need a way to talk to the internet, right? To handle web traffic? Node.js actually comes with a built-in tool for that, called the HTTP module. Think of it like reaching into a toolbox that Node just gives you and pulling out everything you need to listen for requests. All right, next, you use that tool to actually create the server. It's kind of like an empty shell at this point. And you're basically telling it, hey, for every single incoming request, we'll call that rec. I want you to get ready to send back a response. We'll call that res. Everything our server does is going to happen inside there. And what is our server going to do? Well, for now, something super, super simple. It's just going to send back the words, my first server, and then that's it. It ends the connection. The entire job is done. And finally, the last step. You've built the server, but you have to actually turn it on. You have to tell it to start listening on a specific digital doorway, a port. In this case, port 8000. And just like that, you can flip the sign, it's officially open for business. And that's it? I mean, seriously, look at that. What you're seeing is a complete working web server. It's tiny. Which brings up a really important question, right? How on earth can something so small and simple handle thousands, maybe even tens of thousands, of connections all at once? Well, the secret isn't about brute force. It's not about being bigger or stronger. It's about being smarter. It's a completely different way of thinking about how to get work done, and it's basically Node.js's ultimate superpower, asynchronous programming. So check this out. Most traditional code is synchronous. It's like a single-lane road. If one car breaks down, what happens? Total gridlock. Everything stops. Node.js, on the other hand, is asynchronous. Think of it like a multi-lane superhighway. If a slow task comes along, like, say, asking a database for some information, Node doesn't wait. It just says, hey, move over into this other lane. I'll come back for you when you're done. And all the other traffic just keeps flying by. And the thing managing all this traffic is called the event loop. The best way to picture it is like a super efficient, super caffeinated cook at a diner. An order comes in for something that takes a long time. The cook doesn't just stand there and watch it. No way. They put it on the back burner and immediately start working on all the other quicker orders. They are never just standing around waiting. And that's the whole magic trick. That's what non-blocking means. And it's why Node is so incredibly fast and can handle so much at once. But look, being fast is only half the story. The other thing that made Node.js an absolute game changer is its ecosystem. I'm talking about a massive, shared library of code that means you almost never have to build anything from scratch. And that whole world is called NPM. Just think of NPM as the world's biggest box of Legos. Seriously, need a piece to connect to a database? There's a Lego for that. Need to work with dates and times? Yep, there's a Lego for that too. NPM is both the giant warehouse that stores all these pieces and the special tool you use to grab exactly the one you need. And when I say it's the world's largest, I am not exaggerating. NPM hosts over 2 million of these free, reusable packages. 2 million. That's just wild. It means that whatever problem you're trying to solve, there's a really, really good chance somebody has already built a package to help you do it. And using this gigantic library could not be simpler. With just a few commands you type in, you can add new features, check for security problems, or get rid of stuff you don't need anymore. This whole ability to just snap together applications using proven, community-built blocks is what makes modern web development so ridiculously fast. Okay, so let's zoom out for a second. We've got this crazy non-blocking speed, and we've got this infinite toolbox called NPM. When you put those two things together, what was the real game-changing impact on, well, everything? This right here
this is the heart of it. Before Node.js, you absolutely needed at least two different languages, and often two different teams of developers to build a web app. You had your front-end people and your back-end people. Node.js just came in and completely smashed that wall down. All of a sudden, JavaScript could be used everywhere. And this single change created a ripple effect. It gave us a whole new kind of developer, the full-stack JavaScript expert. It made building things so much faster thanks to NPM, and it became the quiet, invisible backbone for millions of the websites, apps, and tools that we all use every single day. You know, the story of Node.js is such a great reminder that sometimes the biggest innovations aren't about creating something totally new from scratch. They're about freeing something that already exists. It took a language that was locked in one place and just unleashed its potential on the entire world. Which kind of leaves you with one last thought, doesn't it? What technology is out there right now, just waiting for its own great escape?